Yeah.
You see the difference from and with is, if you die from COVID, it means COVID killed you. But if you die with COVID, well, that doesn't mean they killed you. That's like if I went out and I got a belt of car and I got killed stone dead and I had the flu. Did the flu kill me, or did the belt of the car that I got kill me? Well, during the times of the COVID now, they would have put down, oh, the flu killed him, I mean COVID killed him. Not about the car that just blew me down the road into 1,000 pieces and just rolled over my guts. No, yeah, no. It wasn't the car that killed him at all, it was the flu. I mean, it was COVID-19 that killed him. Yupper that! And for now, spot of golf there, lads. See what's sitting that there? It's traitors. Traitors, I tell you, that's what that's for. Now, playing with golf there, you fucking traitor, see. Alright, lads, where did I tell you the crack? Where did I tell you the crack? 1 minute now, give me a cup of tea. Alright. I know, can you see that there? Super bad. Super bad, alright. Right, so lads, the latest is let's sit over here and have a little chat with you. How's your cat and how's your cat, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you one thing now, boys, it's not a bad old day at all out there. For the 13th of November, it's fierce mild. So the crack is, it's fierce mild out there today. Oh, sorry about that there, plenty. So that means you don't have to turn up the expensive heating and the electric and the likes of that. Thank God for that, says you. But if the climate change freaks had their way, they'd be saying, what? You're not to be celebrating that it's 14 and 15 degrees in November. You're supposed to be afraid of your life. Afraid of your life. Turn on the radio and you'll hear them saying, oh, the climate is, it's 14, it's 15 degrees. Don't celebrate that. There's nothing to celebrate there. You should be panicking, worrying. The world is going to end. Oh, you're all going to die. You're going to die. Couldn't just turn around and say, it's a grand old mild day. I don't have to spend the fortune on the old electric at all today. No. You're all gonna die, you're all gonna die. That's what they'd be saying. So anyway, so enough about me and my beautifulness. But this is Redacted here, Redacted. And it's a YouTube channel I watch to get my news from. Now, because who wants to watch the fake stream media? Bullshit, lies, narrative, cock and malacca. Right, so there's a couple of channels you can go to now. You can go to Louder with Crowder. You can go to the Rebel News, you can go to, look, there's a few of them there, right, there's a good few, but that's Redacted, that's the one I go to, and the other ones also. So look, enough about me, and boom, 3, 2, 1, roll it there, Roisin. Roisin! Oh fuck it, sure I forgot. Roisin's not in, that's right. Didn't she get electrocuted there not long off the whole electric car and she's plugging it in the rain. That's right, I thought the pair wide water and then electric don't mix and boom, bang! So now she's sick as a dog. But in fairness, she wasn't doing too healthy before that. She went away and got one of them and she was never right since then. She was always sick. She was sicker, I must admit, since she got one of them than she fucking ever was. Then she got a box off the electric vehicle. Ah well, she won't have to worry about that during the blackouts because there won't be no electric. That's right. They'll be looking to have electric in the hospital. So anyway, so I'll have to roll it myself, so that. So stay with me and I just take it away, Clayton. What have you got to tell us? No, what I'm doing, trying to run the whole show, the whole news organisation has to be run by myself, you know what I mean? It's not easy. Not easy trying to run such a massive franchise like I've got going here now, lads, in fairness, you know what I mean? You got all the tech boys, the soundmen, the cameramen and women, not to leave out the ladies, especially the good looking ones. But no lord asses here, no fannies here, sorry, no, get out there on the treadmill and or else you're not in a job. Because I don't want no one dying of underlying heart attacks for being a beast. So we'll have to just fire up there, Jimmy, fire her up there, John.
Boom, boys. Hopefully, you watching right now, I mean, we've got upwards of 30,000 people on all of our platforms combined watching right now. I mean, think about that. Like, Coldplay is putting on a concert in London, and the crowd size is 20,000, right? So there are more people watching our show right now than at a Coldplay concert. This Christmas concert coming up in London. That's crazy. And so we have a large audience on YouTube. And when I go through the terms of service and I'm looking at, okay, what are we allowed to say? Because I love Rumble and all of our Rumble watchers as well. But we are able to reach so many more people to spread this news. It's sad but true, right? And so we've been totally deplatformed on Facebook. We've been blocked and banned. And
hold it up there a minute, dear. Boom. As a matter of fact, you can't post nothing on Facebook. It's all checked by fact checkers and dossers. Fact checkers with pink hair. But I did have a channel myself one time, as I said, for anyone who don't know. 14 years. I opened up 14 years ago and had a backup channels as well. And YouTube shut them down. Because they keep changing the goalposts. They keep moving the goalposts around. And if you don't read the terms and conditions literally on a daily basis, and you put out a video, well, then they'll shut down your channel. They'll say, the terms and conditions, you're saying, did it change since yesterday? They did. They'll say they did, kind of like the CDC guidelines changes on the regular. So, take it away there now, boys. Not easy now, do this one. Yup!
There's no views at all. Zero, because they block it. So, I have to go through the terms of service on YouTube to find out what specifically are we even allowed to talk about. Now, they've adjusted their COVID guidelines. They've kind of flip-flopped on where they were last year.
So what's new?
Which we covered here on the show. And then, of course, we've now things have changed so much that we have to kind of check it on a weekly basis almost.
On a daily basis, I may say.
Did they change this now? Can we talk about, what can we say on the vaccines? What can we say about booster shots? It's ridiculous. And I think some of this stuff is become like...
Hold up there a minute. If they had the way, see the size, that's the size of the booster will be. 1 minute we just get that into there now. Take 10 of them every year now and you will be grand. Because this old COVID-19, they're going to keep that going like the flu. It'll always be around forever. They'll be saying it's just more dangerous than the flu. So you've got to keep getting the old as many of them as possible off of Pfizer. So we keep her lit, boys, we keep her lit. And here we come, she's coming in for a hot. She's going hot like a nuclear weapon. She's hot, boys, and boom!
My favorite hobbies is just that my weekly, okay, what are the rules on YouTube this week? So, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy. And then, what's amazing is if you look at the election stuff, that's a sideball issue or a rabbit hole issue, but just looking at the election stuff, right, what you're allowed to talk about. Now they've just updated them this week. You can't even talk about the Brazilian election that just happened last week. Like, they're all over that already. They've literally got that in there. They've got the German election. I mean, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. So what we try to do here is provide you with the data. You make your own assessment. This is coming right from the CDC's website. Okay, these are not my opinion. These are not my data points. These are the CDC's guidelines and website data. Okay, so look at this. This is the state-by-state breakdown of this data. Just to be clear, YouTube, this is the CDC's data. So this is the cumulative, just general average, okay, of increased
Oh, do you see that little green line there now, boys? That's the flat line. See that little red dots up and down? That's the norm supposed to be. And you see all this, yup, well, they're all old deaths that they can't explain. Most of them deaths are like, nah, they're dropping like flies. We can't explain them. What do we do to try and explain them? I'll tell you what we do. We just won't fucking talk about them at all. That's what we'll do. So that's what the mainstream, fake stream media, well, they won't talk about it. Because the fake stream media, they want you in the fishery. A school of fish. That's right. And ye are the fish, and you're being schooled by the fake stream media, and the radio, and all the newspapers, and all the rest of the media, and you're kept in the fishery, and you're told you're not allowed to think outside the fishery. Because if you do, well, we'll terminate your channel, we'll shut you down, we'll call you Nazis, we'll call you climate deniers, we'll call you flat earthers if we have to, we'll call you everything. And on the subject of flat earth, I mean, I did videos on that many years ago, I might just do an old video on that and give you a look. If anyone can get me a ball and get a load of water to stick to that ball, I'd really, well, you might have me with that one. Because another thing, if gravity's all that powerful, and it has the ocean pulled onto the face of the earth, the oceans, hundreds of trillions and billions and trillions, and I could go on forever, tons of water held onto the earth, then how come if you put a bit of helium into an old balloon, the balloon floats off into the sky. How come gravity can't pull that down? If it can pull all the oceans onto the earth, why can't it pull down a light little helium balloon with a small little bit? You're trying to tell me a little bit of helium is more powerful than this super gravity that's holding every drop of water onto the face of the fucking earth supposed to be? Let's move along anyway, Roisin, before I get carried away. Oh yeah, Roisin's not here, so I'll have to move along myself. Boom!
Yes. And here, that's 6%. That's a 6% here at the top. Okay, now it goes state by state. So as we scroll down here, this is the excess deaths in Alabama. That's, and look at these, 24% in Arizona increase.
24% increase in deaths, like, imagine that.
Excess deaths, or 7% as of last week. Look at this one, 14% in California. All of these states up.
Boom, up and away. There you go. There's all the up, all a lot of deaths happening around the place that no one can explain. You right? I wonder what's going on. Maybe it was one too many of them things. Maybe it was. Yup. Up and away, like a helium balloon.
In the UK. So let's talk about the UK. A stunning bit of news, new data since we last reported this. Here's the Telegraph. This Telegraph story is really eye-opening, and you should all read it. Rising non-COVID excess deaths reveal the disastrous legacy of the pandemic. And it says, when Britain first locked down in March 23, 2020, the average daily death rate from COVID was around 213, triggering understandable alarm and the ushering in of strict restrictions. Now, a similar number of unexpected deaths are occurring each day, the majority of which are not primarily caused by coronavirus. Now, I'm quoting this Telegraph piece. These are not my words. Yet there is largely silence from the government and health service, it says. Data from the Office of National Statistics, ONS, shows that in the past 6 months, there have been more excess deaths from causes other than COVID than deaths due to coronavirus for the entire year.
Hold on there a minute and explain. I remember the time when all that COVID-19 bullshit came out. I said I'd do a bit of research and look into it. So after a couple of weeks I know, hold on there a minute. They're supposed to be dropping like flies. There's a pandemic, the plague, the Great Plague. We're all going to die again, kind of like climate change. You're all going to die. So I used to look out the window and see no sign of anyone dropping dead yet. Now as the days went by, still no one dropping like death. No, only what I see on the fake media. That's the only place you seem to see all the deaths. And Hollywood and all them swamp creatures. So what did I do? I said to myself, fuck it. It's better off to live free than to live in fear. What's the point of living in fear? It's no life at all. I might as well live free and take a chance. So I grabbed the keys of my car, threw my children into it, and I drove all over the country. During the lockdown, you weren't supposed to go any further than 5 kilometres. Well, I was all over the country, me and the children. None of this, no flu, no sickness, no nothing. Well, all the other ducks were going around like that, quack, 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 quack. Not all, but 90% of the ducks were. So there you go. So I opened the eyes and I said, yeah, nothing much happening out there. Now, unfortunately, people that are overweight, people with respiratory problems, people with heart problems, young or old, they die because the flu can kill you. If you get a bad dose of the normal everyday Joe soap flu and you have any of them underlying conditions, you're super overweight, you have heart problems, respiratory problems, anything like that, well, and you get the flu, well, you could die, and they did die. And the worst thing about it was, the people that did die, their loved ones couldn't even go to their fucking funerals, God love them. That's what went on. That's what went on in the big pandemic. So we'll take it away, Clayton.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, and that,
Wouldn't you like to know?
In that first sentence too, like it's saying, Philip, if you can pull that sentence, that document back up.
Why pull it up? Yeah, it's called a belt around to the side of the head for the lawyers and
It
Pfizer.
says,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, the first one where it says the average daily death rate from COVID was around 213. Now, we don't know, they're saying from COVID, but we've shown with the Freedom of Information Act that it was with COVID, so I wonder if that number is...
You see the difference from and with is, if you die from COVID, it means COVID killed you. But if you die with COVID, well, that doesn't mean they killed you. That's like if I went out and I got a belt of car and I got killed stone dead and I had the flu. Did the flu kill me or did the belt of the car that I got kill me? Well, during the times of the COVID now, they would have put down, oh, the flu killed him, COVID killed him. Not about the car that just blew me down the road into 1,000 pieces and just rolled over my guts. No. It wasn't the car that killed him at all, it was the flu. It was COVID-19 that killed him. So that's the difference between with or from. From means it done it, sure. With means you got to fell off a building, but you had the flu, so we'll say the flu killed you. Not about you falling off a 10-story building.
Is the accurate number of from or with?
With. Yeah, this is the question, right? So the report goes on, data from the Office of National Statistics, the ONS, shows that in the past 6 months there have been more excess deaths from causes other than COVID than deaths due to coronavirus for the entire year. Figures reveal there were 18,394 deaths due to COVID recorded this year in England and Wales. But since May, there have been 23,195 excess deaths where the primary cause was another condition.
How are your horses, guys? How are your horses? Did you hear that? 24,000 people nearly died from something else rather than COVID. Well, I can tell you, it could be something to do with that, or it could be something to do with that. Because a lot of people committed that during the lockdowns because they just couldn't deal with it. Their life was taken off them. They were locked indoors, they were watching the crap, they were fear-mongered by the fake media, blasting it out all day, the radio blasting it out every 15 minutes. People just have to go into fear. And it's a fact. If you live in fear, well, your body's defense mechanism system breaks down. Because what happens is, when you're in fear, flight or fear response, well, your body knows it doesn't need an immune system. It doesn't need that at that particular moment. It's the last thing in your body's mind is your immune system when it's thinking you're going to get killed and you won't need one. So if you can get people to live in fear, it oppresses your immune system, which leaves you open for a cloud of anything. That's what it does. It leaves you open for fear, opens you up for real sicknesses. So if you live in fear, you can become sick, very sick. You can go into stress-related illnesses, which causes that kind of thoughts go through your mind. So there are all the things that go with living in fear. As I said, and it oppresses your immune system when you live in fear. That's why during the lockdown, people listened to all the bullshit. Well, it was making them sick. That's why a lot of them went out that way. Young and old. I know a lot of people that died. And people I used to just see walking around and say, where's he gone or she gone? I don't see them anymore. Oh, they died. From what? Don't know. Was it that? Or was it that? It was one of them. So take it away, buddy.
Coronavirus infection, but it was not the main reason for the death. Unbelievable. The excess deaths in the UK. Take a look at this latest data. Now, the Daily Skeptic has this put together, and these all in here in red that Will Jones has highlighted from the Daily Skeptic shows. I don't know if we have that chart, do we, or is it just on my laptop here? We can take this on my screen here, Philip, sorry. So this excess deaths in red, these are the most recent few from the end of, from the beginning of this year. These are the 5-year averages for the weeks 1 to 8 in 2022 are affected by the COVID-19 wave in early 2021, right? So that was the COVID wave right there in early 2021. So what the hell is this in red? Can anyone answer me? So COVID wave came, everyone went and did something, governments mandated people to do stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Can we ask the question about whether or not that's correlated with the, the J?
Yeah, I mean that's
kind of line here. We're not on about the left and the right.
I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying there's a correlation, but the Daily Skeptic is saying there's a correlation based on some of this data. And wouldn't we like to know if there is? And this is why there should be an investigation.
Wouldn't we like to know?
A new report out today from the Daily Skeptic goes into that specific data I was just showing you. Says the death crisis continues with 1,232 excess deaths, 12% above the 5-year average, registered in England and Wales in the week ending October 28th, according to the ONS. Of these, 804 of them were attributed to an underlying cause other than COVID-19, bringing the total excess non-COVID deaths since the wave began in April to 23,000 compared to the 1,200 last time.
A lot of deaths, no explanation from.
Here's the most stunning data. An average of 1,564 extra deaths per week.
Oh, Lord.
Throughout 2020, that number was 315. Throughout 2021, that number was 1,322. Now, since May of 2022, since May of this year, 24,440 non-COVID deaths.
You hear that, boys? 24,000 people after dying this year of non-COVID deaths. They don't know what they died from. So there's more people dying now of something they don't know what's going on than there did when they're supposed to have died from the COVID-19. So I wonder, is it a knock-on effect from that old crack? And of course, when people do that, they won't talk about it either. Any that, oh, don't mention that, don't mention nothing about the lockdowns causing a lot of people to do that. No, sorry. But we can be damn sure someone is making a mint out of all these deaths. Someone is making billions out of it. So we'll keep our lid, because that's coming up anytime soon.
Nobody who's in charge of the NHS or any of the health, the health secretaries are talking about this at all. I don't hear anybody at the CDC talking about this.
Crickets.
Where are the government,
Crickets.
alarmists right now?
Well, that's the truth. Where are they?
The virus, they're like totally alarmed, but like these numbers are, that's why I was always like, it's such a farce, because there's no alarm about heart disease, there's no alarm about, alcohol-induced deaths. Like, they don't care actually about the deaths, because it's not, they can't make it alarming.
Yeah.
So, the fact that nobody is out here yelling about this is laughable.
And, the line that we've been hearing from like the BBC and others is that, there's a backlog of people that couldn't get health care, right? So of course you're going to see additional problems right now. And perhaps, maybe, but at what point does that line or that narrative start to not actually hold up anymore? And I think we're starting to see the line right now. I think we're starting to see the cracks in that story, especially when you have, and again, when you look at the heart-related deaths, that's the big one. So I get the cancer piece of this, right? I get that, but at 0 to 24-year-olds, what? Can someone explain that to me? No, you can't.
You can't, bye.
So why don't we have a massive investigation? Why don't we have full transparency on this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because the biopharmaceutical complex doesn't want us to. This story out today. Slap in the face from Pfizer. Pfizer chief.
What?
This was on an earnings call.
Here comes the money makers. Here's the people who's making all the money out of this crap, boys. Here's the buyers there. The slap in the Pfizer face chief boasts to investigators that COVID will continue to be a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Basically, COVID will be around forever, and it's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. So if you want to invest in a couple of quid in Pfizer and the old COVID-19, well, you're going to make a fortune, because it's never going away, because we're going to make it so that it's here to stay. That's a fact.
All to investors. Says the Pfizer chief, Borrella, says that that COVID will continue to be a multi-billion-dollar franchise for Pfizer for many years to come, he says. As the firm prepares to
They refer to it as a franchise.
They do refer to it as a franchise, because that's what it is. It's a money-making franchise, and that's why they refer to it as so. Boom!
Yeah.
Think about that. They're calling that a franchise like it's some kind of like money maker. And they,
like a McDonald's.
So whether you believe like the data or whatever, but the fact that via the information they put out, a lot of people died, and they're calling it a franchise like it's a celebratory.
That's what it is.
They're going to still make billions, and a lot of people don't realize that 9 new billionaires were created in the pharmaceutical industry during this pandemic, and
Or
they
bastards,
made
them
record profits at this time. So it's been 100% about the money, and the fact that they call it that's just like. That stuff infuriates me.
Yeah, and so they're going to mark this up 10,000% markup on vaccines. 10,000%.
Sure that, Clancy?
Money's good.
Life is good for the boys in Pfizer.
Price hike is a result of dwindling government funds for vaccine doses, they say. Oh, because the government's now, so now we just need to jack up the price. The uninsured population will be on the hook for the out-of-pocket costs of the shots. Pfizer has earned about $80 billion on vaccines and the antiviral drug Paxlovid.
Well, then now that they're going to mandate it, potentially, I don't know if that's moved forward, but mandate it potentially for kids going into school, you know, who's paying for that? Are the parents, are the schools boards paying for that? Like when kids have to do that, it's generally on the parents, right?
I suppose.
And their insurance?
I think it'll come through the insurance, exactly. Yeah. The company projects $102 billion in total revenue this year. Well, with the vaccine and its antiviral Paxlovid, more than double the company's revenue in 2019.
Hold your horses. Did you hear that, people? In 2019, Pfizer the drug company made 50 billion, and now in 2022, they've made 110 billion nearly. Is that what he said? 110 billion, so, as I said, someone's making a mint. Take it away, Clayton, again.
So, again, if you think they cost, according to the
how much these things cost? What's the
It's
price?
estimated that Pfizer's vaccine cost just $1.18 per dose to make.
Right.
So charging $130 per dose would represent a markup of more than 10,000%,
Nice to know.
according to the Daily Mail.
Well, that's lovely to know, Clayton. They make it for $1.08 and they sell it for, did he say $130? Well, there's profit, lads. There's profit, I mean to say. I'd better get into that business myself. Anyone willing to invest in that kind of business, you'll be a multi-millionaire in no little time, let me tell you that. But of course, they'll only let their own cronies in on top of that kind of wealth. You know what I mean? And who they're making it off of? They're making that wealth off the back of the poor. The poorest, and the people living in fear, and the people sick, and the people afraid to get sick. That's what they're making all their money off of. But they won't make it off me, because I wouldn't take one of them. If you paid me, I'd rather take that to the side of the head and would boom, than take one of them to give any of that crap to me and my children. Stay healthy, drink plenty of water, eat loads of fruit, eat organic food, do exercise so you don't get a big fat ass to go with all your sitting down. Exercise, organic food, clean non-fluoridated water, plenty of fruit, plenty of exercise and fresh air. That's how you stay healthy, people of the world. And turn off your TV, don't be watching the TV and listen to the radio, because that'll make your mind unhealthy, which in turn make you unhealthy when your metabolism and your whole system starts to break down. That's right. You know what I mean? When your immune system doesn't know its arse from its face with all the fear.
And of course, this idea of the no cost to Americans, that vaccines costing nothing for Americans, that's about to run out. So all of this will then move towards the insurance companies. They think that's great. They think that's great, and they think that this is going to be like the seasonal flu. We're going to treat this as the seasonal flu vaccine. He called it David Denton, the CFO of Pfizer, said, I think if you look out longer term, the franchise is going to be a multi-billion-dollar franchise in the respect that this is going to be somewhat like a flu, a sustained flu, but actually more deadly than the flu.
Now,
so we got to keep that, make sure we're scared about it.
oh, make sure you're scared to death, lads.
Just to make sure that
Hold up the horses there, what are you saying?
go and get these things.
That's right. So now, lads, that's Redacted there. Look, you can go over there to Redacted, sub up to their channel, alright? So it's nice to know that their franchise is on the move and someone is making a fortune and everyone's living in fear and the booster shots will be coming out left, right and centre. They're making a fortune, like they're making a fucking fortune, I tell you. So with that said, lads, I have things to do, so God bless and you and your family. And remember, keep her lit, boys, keep her lit.